Who's muted now?
Oh, yeah. Charlie very damn nearly came in on cue. I love it. Thank you, Ben Mary, for that too sweet playing, and thank you, Charlie, for that damn near bailout. Welcome, all you four-color funny book aficionados. This is U.S. Comics Cast, and I am out of breath. HQ for all things comic book related. I am John Rivera, the CEO and co-founder this company deserves, but not the one it needs.
And I, of course, am the other co-host, the other co-founder. I put the O in C-O. Oh, I am Charlie Rivera. Believe it or not, I am younger and wider than my brother. My dear brother, happy comic book day.
Happy comic book day to you observed, because we are coming to you live to tape yet again for none other than Charlie's presence amidst the modern day gladiators of AEW. How excited are you, Charlie?
I'm bursting. I am bursting with energy to the point where during the pre-show you were like, "How about fucking relaxing? How about
he was all geeked up? It was as if Charlie had a match."
It's true.
He had his little adult diapers already, knee pads. Like, the biggest issue for Charlie to get into the squared circle is for him to acknowledge that knee pads go on your knees, not on your elbows, like his Ghostbuster training taught him to do.
Hey man, Ghostbusting ain't easy, but in case that wasn't enough reason to get hyped up, yes. The main thing I do with entertainment is listen to it. When I'm working, I need music, or I need a podcast. I need something in the background. And my friends over
What are you listening to right now while we're recording this?
Another episode. I'm listening to episode 48.
Oh, a different of us?
Just nice. So good. I only, Dude, the best podcast in the world.
Whatever you got to do to get those fucking ratings up, you do it.
That's I am 200 a week right from these ears.
Nice.
But
Charlie is my core demographic.
Very soon, Detective Comics is going to further stay in my life. Right? One could say that in a lot of ways they're losing the comic book war. I do sometimes when I'm mad at them for writing bad books.
Charlie's like, I just gave you $1,000. You're losing the comic book war. That's like his only fucking comeback. He's
exactly.
Like, I'll see you next comic book day, though.
Yeah, but like, bring back Vibe. I have $3 for it. Did you hear, in the most unexpected way, not only is Batman the Animated Series coming back on HBO Max, we're also getting even more Batman the Animated Series in audio form? Are you first of all, if there's ever been a cast for a cartoon where I just want to hear their voices all day, it's the cast of Batman the Animated Series.
Let me put it up this way. First and first, mostly, yes, I did indeed hear it, which is why I broached the topic. but, and this is a big Poison Ivy but. This is a cast that just so happens to be a voice cast. You could take this cast and throw them on the screen. You could take this cast and throw them on a stage. You could take this cast and throw them on the damn beach. I'm going to ingest what they are giving me. Matter of fact, freaking Conroy, who's like many people, for anyone who doesn't know, for anyone who's not familiar with Batman the Animated Series, shame on you, because we spoke about it a few times here. And if that didn't drive you to check out what the hell we were babbling about, we frankly failed, which I never like to acknowledge. But many people do, especially now that there are so many choices when someone asks, who's your favorite Batman? Conroy is almost always, I would say, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 if you have like a real dingbat involved. He is like the quintessential Kevin Conroy is the quintessential Batman, and also as well as we're seeing him on Crisis on Infinite Earths. So you do get to see him physically,
which
visually.
is just such a
Mm,
treat. Because again,
yeah,
for someone like me,
it's
and
only right.
it's about damn time is the way I'd word. Because again, when you just talk about like time served in cape and cowl,
Sure.
first of all, he's had such an easy time because he gets to Batman from a comfy chair or standing in some expensive ass shoes, I
Excuse
bet.
me, old man Batman, Batman Beyond. He gets a Batman from a chair. Nobody gives him shit.
Touche, touche. But between the Arkham games, the ones that he was the voice for, he's so iconic that if I see an animated Batman and it's not Kevin Conroy,
Yeah.
it feels like Batman must be sick to me. Doesn't matter how good someone does. I'm like, what you got, cold Batman? Too much crime fighting in the rain?
Yeah. No, anybody else sounds like they're doing a poor Batman imitation. To the point where you're like, nah, I don't believe it. But then they'll do some like kung fu flip off the top of a building. You're like, Batman that has no superpowers. But I buy that, and yeah, absolutely, I'm with it. So just again,
I'd
really
buy that for a
quickly,
bat buck.
so just really quickly, this is a voice cast that we're getting now in a radio play format, and I was just very recently, swinging from the Schwarzen grabbers of the Sandman
Fuck yes.
radio plays that we got, both one and second installment. I think one was better than two, but two was better than 97% of the other bullshit that's out there.
Yes.
So again, led by Kevin Conroy's Batman.
One was better than two. Two was better than everything that wasn't one.
So we have Mark Jedi Master Hamill as the Joker. Many people also, as well as, give him the title of Best Joker. Granted, it is only in voice format, but he did give us a pretty good turn. In Jay and Silent Bob, like
Yes.
Cockknocker was very, very Joker-esque. But also, and I'm very excited for Arlene Sorkin. So, and this has come up a few times in the show. If someone still doesn't know, we have failed you, and I apologize. Harley Quinn, as exponentially popular as the character is, she debuted on this goddamn cartoon for children, which was shockingly adult and mature and deep. And I again, Charlie, I am somewhat jealous of you that, in much the same way that the cartoon Ghostbusters was your real first foray into the franchise, Batman the Animated Series was your first Batman, correct?
Yeah, it precedes Batman Returns.
Yeah.
So much so when I saw Batman Returns, I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Charlie,
why is Penguin toxic? But what's great is it's like it was such a weird way to experience Batman because the cartoon borrowed so much from Tim Burton's film that I got to see the homage before the inspiration. Oh, but you know what's so funny?
That theme, that is a banger opening theme, boy.
I know
no words necessary.
No, I know everyone loves Dark Knight Returns cover with the lightning behind him. The best Batman in lightning shot ever is his silhouette on top of the building getting lit up.
Yeah, we're looking at it right now. Again, anyone who's only listening to the show, we thank you for your ears. But every once in a while, check out the visuals because Charlie drops some good ones. But again, regardless, so it's still up for the debate where Batman the Animated Series ranks in the entire Batman canon that we've gotten outside. Well, I mean, you can make a very strong argument for sure. But of all the movies, the shows, the other cartoons, anything outside the comic books, it is consistently in the conversation of the best. And you're talking about this is stepping into the ring against multi-million-dollar entries. That being said, we are getting that original voice cast. They are coming back into the proverbial room, sitting around the table, pulling up the mics to their chinny chin chins, and they're going at it again. I am so super excited because this is, in essence, this is like you were saying, sometimes you want to just have something playing for ambiance, playing in the background, just absorbing the vibe. And damn it, if this isn't some vibe, this is gonna be like a 2, 3, 4 hour episode of a
Ooh.
classic cartoon.
Oh, baby. You know what else I really love about it? As much as I love the iconic look of Batman, the animated series, when they did the refresh and did Batman and Robin, I hated the visual presentation. So this allows me to put in my picture head. I get to craft the idealized version of Batman the Animated Series because I love the way that show looks, but it's not my favorite art style. So now getting to imagine
That noir, chunky,
yeah, I want
chiseled
something.
style.
I want in my head. I always want something more comic book.
You want more
accurate.
nipples. Just go ahead and say it out loud,
More
Charlie.
bat
Is a
nipples
nipple
for everyone.
fan. No one can really blame you.
I mean, you know, anyone who would try to blame me is a bullshitter, and I don't respect bullshitters.
Charlie's
No,
like,
this,
I'm gonna hold right there because if someone can defend nipples, I'm here for it. Again,
Yeah.
just really quickly because we are up against the
Yes.
clock with it being pre-recorded. However, we will still be interjecting and involved in the conversation in chat, so feel free to chat. We're getting Kevin Conroy back, Lauren Lester, Clive Revelle, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., Bob Hastings, Robert Constanzo, Melissa Gilbert, and a ton of supporting that I'm not going to go into. But the bottom line is this, and this is the bottom of the basement line. This is the bomb shelter line. That's how deep this goes. I don't care where your ultimate rankings are because you have about 57 options that you can choose from. But if Batman, the animated series, is not in your personal top 3, I got news for you, Buster. You are a liar. Just like George Toy Boy Lucas was a liar when he failed to acknowledge that Han shot first. Put him up, boy. Clink.
clinky.
Salute.
Oh boy,
Nice. Winter's
just
here. I'm
straight
gonna
up
fight it
rum
back.
was a bad choice. Woo!
Pike level, bro. Pike level. So anyway, Charlie, keep us rolling, dude. What is the haps?
What is the haps? I
I'm
introduced
just
the
kidding.
joint topic, so it's
my
your
topic
turn.
first. The haps was that Charlie was not gonna talk his topic first. It was indeed gonna be me. Because some might argue, in terms of brothers, in terms of podcasters, in terms of U.S. comics hierarchy, John Rivera might damn well be an Omega level Rivera. That's how you do those transitions, son.
That's honestly,
Woo!
I am impressed. That is Charlie level effort to get that transition popping.
Hey, Bob, why don't you tell us about this weekend weather, huh? All right. So now that we have put the Bat family, the cartoon animated Bat and voiced Bat family behind us, let's go ahead and take the leap from DC over to Marvel. Now it's interesting because we talk all things comics, but
Yes.
for some reason, in retrospect, those uncanny wonders don't really come up in conversation as often as one might think that they would. Now, if we were doing this podcast back when podcasts didn't exist in like the mid-90s, we'd be talking X-Men on the daily damn basis. Personally, I freaking blame Fox, like I do for most things, but their movies have done almost like the opposite of what the Marvel Cinematic Universe did for the lighter side of the family, for the Avengers side, for that whole group, and the Sony cachet notwithstanding, because they've learned how to play together in the same toy box. But
Fox
truly,
was like, let's get him in S&M gear. Hard to adapt that into a comic.
Fox was like, if Sony and Marvel proper were like Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig, I think it's pretty clear who is who. Marvel's sitting there all chilling, eating on a fucking carrot. Hey, what's up, Doc? And poor friggin' Sony's like, that something's lost in translation. Like, we'll just give you Spider-Man. Just fix it, please. All of a sudden, you have friggin' the Daffy Ducks over here at Fox, and they're like mine, like just hoarding all the freaking coins in front of them. They do not want to share. They think they can do it better, but they're wrong. They've had multiple installments, and the one real time that they dare to step outside of the box and be like, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Here comes a New Mutants. Is gonna be a horror story.
Like, we're scared.
Dude, halfway through, like, no. They were that little kid that was like, I'm gonna do a double half gainer off into the deep end of the pool, and like boing, 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 and then they just started hugging on the diving board. They changed their damn mind.
I cannot believe how quickly they were like, we were kidding. Why'd you do a real thing?
You were serious about that? No, son.
Put him in leather. How does this? Where's Deadpool?
You don't know my sense of humor. That's the issue. It's all right. We'll fix it. We'll make it a real shitty movie so that it fits in to the rest of the library that we have going on.
We don't want this to have like X2 hope. We don't even want a Nightcrawler scene.
Old Man Logan is the crown wearer of that whole collection of flicks.
Yeah, and even that got botched in the end because they were like, spooky evil Wolverine.
Not only that, I'm consistently having the conversation. Look, I think Hugh Jackman is an outstanding performer, and I'm going to give him the more general title because he can literally do it all. If you were saying, oh, did you see the casting for the new Super Mario? And you find out Hugh Jackman's playing Princess
Toad.
Peach. I'm like, thanks for trying to step all over my joke, you ham-fisted son of a bitch. Anyways, he's great, but he's actually not the right guy for that part. He would have been outstanding in maybe half a dozen other roles within that family that I could easily happily write for you. But I digress. The reason why this is now a topic of conversation, since the movies and they're so bungled that they're not worth talking about, because frankly we don't like to be negative. We like to keep it shiny, positive vibes. The reason why it's coming up is because we have an Omega. The fuck was it? Did you see that change in the Matrix? Woo!
Oh shit! It's not December 22nd. Come early. There's an Omega level fucking mutant behind you.
If I morph into Keanu Reeves, leave it alone. Just roll with it. It's your prayers answered, Charlie.
John. Just so you know, you don't need to tell me that. You don't need to.
You will notice this. All of a sudden, you'll see Sly and Shay pop up behind me. They're like, "That's what's up now, motherfucker." What? All of a sudden, they'll just become like dicks around the neighborhood. Oh, you want to mess with me? Oh, John Wick. You know John Wick? Anyways. Anyway. That's my time, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why the X-Men and mutant kind are my topic of conversation is because, and I mispronounce this or mangle it. I'm not so assured of it.
Books.
It's Krakoa. I'll kill you. I'm gonna call it Krakoa until I'm corrected by somebody else.
Krakakocha.
Yeah. Coachella? They're at Coachella. That's what it is.
That's some X-Men shit. That makes perfect sense.
So
Kitty Prod.
Again, we know mutants. Like we get it at this point. Going back to the 60s, they've been part of our comic book landscape. They were a direct analogy to to a lot of the racial issues that racial equality that was
sexual, all that stuff.
Like equality was a big story in reality, and here was something on the 4-color funny book pages.
Who's being oppressed? That's the X-Men.
Damn straight. We're like, yeah, give us one of those. Give me 2 of these. I'll take a bunch of naked lady tees. Oh, and look at that hat. That hat should come with a bowl of soup. Oh, it looks good on you, though. Anyways, so
too deep of a cut.
Look, there's gonna be one person. Casey will get it. It's fine. So there has been a turn of events, and I'm not even talking about the mutants actually having, in essence, their own nation now.
Yeah.
Never mind like that window, the 10, 12-year window where we were getting mutants that were like, first we had like a 10-year span where every mutant had like energy powers out of the hands, their groin, their ears, like energy powers, and for some reason energy powers always looked bulbousy with like little black balls floating around. That was how they decided to show it. Fine, that's fine.
Visual language.
Here's my money. I'll read what you got. But Charlie, if I were to have asked you, let's say 5 years ago, Charlie, who is the Omega level mutant? That was a title that was reserved for a single, actually not even individual, a single entity.
Yeah,
that was the fucking
Phoenix Force.
Dark Phoenix Saga, Phoenix Force. Poor bomb piece Ginger Jean Grey. Like, she didn't have a hard enough time going through life between Cyclops's like just cuck energy,
cuck frat boy energy.
Freaking 4 foot nothing Wolverine, all covered in hair, but like, hey, I like you too. Maybe the three of us, we could go. Bub smoking on a cigar. Like, if she didn't have enough problems, here she was haunted in essence by this galactic fucking power, but it had its way with her. And now we had, for as far as I could tell in my comic book reading, the first real Omega level mutant. Now, fast forward to today or tomorrow, since we're live to tape. On Krakoa right now, Charlie, what would be your best guess of how many official Omega level mutants are getting their mail on Krakoa Lane?
How many players are in a starting lineup of a baseball team? Because it's double that.
That would be 9. So Charlie's best guess is 18. As shocking as his lack of knowledge about sports is the fact that his mutant Omega level mutant guess was riotously close. And I'm hoping that he was just going to aim for the stars and be like, well, I'll help Charlie story along.
I have to be honest. I meant to say football because I feel like there's more football boys. But
there are
because there's an offense and a defense.
That would be there's 11 on the field at the same time, so that would still bring it to 22, which would still be a number higher.
I meant it to be how many AEW wrestlers there are.
Folks, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. There are currently 15
stupid
Omega level mutants on Dadgone Krakoa right now.
That's too many.
That's a lot.
That's too many and
that's
unnecessary.
A lot. That's and here's the thing, and I realize, and I'm going to hand it off to you because I know you have plenty to say about it, but it sounds silly because if living in a world where like 1 is good but 2 is better and a little is great but a lot is fantastic, that's like saying this cake is tasty but it's too much chocolate. Too much chocolate. Got a chocolate crust, there's some chocolate filling, there's some chocolate icing on top, and it's covered with chocolate fudge. And just as you're like, this is the perfect amount of chocolate, they hand you a goddamn chocolate spoon. You're like, no, the whole thing's gonna melt in my everything's melting. You don't fucked it up. It's too much Omega chocolate. So Charlie, what do you have to say about it?
I mean, and again, I fully admit nothing I've written thus far has gotten a seal of approval from even my big brother.
Nah.
Let alone
Charlie's idea was the chocolate spoon. Full credit.
Delicious though. You have to admit.
No, it was good.
Tasty.
It was good, yeah.
Dirty, but I digress.
Very hard to wash.
Very
good luck getting that shit through the dishwasher.
Yeah, it's a mess. But so if the next evolution of man is X-Man, baby. Now they're like, now fuck being a mutant. There's too many mutants that suck. What you want is it's like being sold an upgraded car.
They needed
That's
a purge.
nothing is fucking different. They're like the 2023. Be like, bullshit, fuck yourself. What's different, man? It looks the same, it drives the same, it handles the same. Go fuck yourself. Also, when it was just good old Gene rocking the Phoenix Force, and everyone was like, we're 100% fucked. The minute I heard that potentially today was a subject, I pulled up Omega level mutants because I wanted to find some art to throw on the visual version, available now on YouTube and on Facebook.
Nice.
Iceman is an Omega. Shut
Wait.
your mouth.
Hold on 1 second. It's not just that Iceman is a Omega level mutant. Charlie, he might be
No, stop.
the most
Stop
powerful
it. He's a snowman.
of the Omega
He's
of
a
the
snowman.
Omega level
No,
mutants.
I don't want to live in a world where the Human Torch can't melt dumb as fuck Iceman. And listen, I fully acknowledge that this is probably a bias built upon the films because Iceman annoyed the fuck out of me.
He's always like,
You
look
talk
what I
about
can do.
You talk about a movie was like, we can't have just one cuck and poor Scott.
Not
Let's
for anything.
get another cuck up in this joint.
It took Buddy the Elf less time to put snowballs together than Iceman in those movies.
You know,
So
the fact that
I can't sign off on it.
every Iceman comes with a surfboard made of ice. Go fuck yourself, Iceman. I would mock him if he were real. Good,
Except if you're
dumb
late
power.
for work one day, you're like, nah, the traffic on the 101 looks pretty rough. Ice surfboard. And not surfboard, more like ice fucking monorail. Like Disney probably got the idea. He's like, ice monorail. It's out of control. So it is debatable, truly, with as powerful as these characters are. But just really quickly, so Omega level mutants on Krakoa right now.
You name them, I'm going to tell you if dumb or not.
All right, Storm,
Cool. Okay.
Iceman,
Dumb.
Marvel Girl,
Fine.
Magneto,
Fine.
Exodus.
No.
Really?
I don't know who Exodus is.
There you go. Exodus, he's kind of like that purpley guy.
Oh, he's purpley? Fuck off, Exodus!
Do you remember the whole Acolyte saga?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he was kind of like horns on the shoulders, white cape,
Oh,
led
shit.
the way.
Fuck off.
He had,
off.
he had an excellent head of hair. Elixir, which...
Oh, no.
No, not Elixir. See, Elixir is almost like... Elixir's like super healing factor. So to me, I'm like, how the fuck that takes some good writing to take how you can heal yourself, walk through a cheese grater, fine. You come out the other side, you like just like has whistling a happy tune to like now you can like just the fact that they figured out how to write it. This is why comic book writers are woefully unappreciated. How someone could weaponize healing. That's amazing. That's like every bad guy who's got doctor in front of their name. Motherfucker, you took a vow. Cause no harm, you Dr. Doom.
Be like, you have too much skin now. Woo,
oh,
dumb.
you son of a bitch.
Stop.
Anyway, Kid Omega.
His name's Kid in it? Fuck off.
Which is aptly named. Hope, Vulcan, Legion, Jamie Braddock, Proteus, and Mr. M. Now, Franklin Richards was considered an Omega level mutant until his powers kind of began to dissipate. But the fact is, you realize he was never a fucking mutant to begin with.
He got decredited.
Well, yeah, he was like, nah, son, we had to give away your reservation. Your matter of fact, move. Now you gotta move. That's some rough shit. But and then obviously Oracle, who kind of just got there. But they're all considered Omega level because it's
too much.
Well, here's the true definition of the term is not
Extra
how
mutant.
badly they can ruin your day, but the potential limitless nature of their power. Now, Charlie, forgive me if I'm wrong, and I realize that we're often accused of being Superman apologists.
Yeah, it's true.
But And it is, yeah, because fuck you if you don't like Superman.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah, you're just wrong, and
Have
I'm
better
gonna tell
taste.
you why you're wrong.
Have
So
better
sue
taste.
me.
I don't know what to tell you, dickhead.
So you're just a bad person.
You're
That's
just
all it's all
yeah,
about.
and dumb and kind
But
of
here's
ugly.
the thing: like, wasn't the big knock always on like the golden age? He's too strong. He's too
Yeah.
strong. He's too that's not interesting storytelling. Now, if you just had a one-for-one version, and God knows Marvel has multiple Superman rip-offs. I mean analogs. Sorry, don't sue us. They've got multiple ones, and they've done some interesting stuff. I love the Sentry and Void combination. I love I love them all. Honestly, I really do, because to me, I'm like, oh yeah, no other Superman, I'm all in for it. But the one thing that you could say is, in order to negate that, like all too powerful, would be to have like another version floating around. Charlie, they've damn got double digits. They've got
It's just
15 of them.
it's such a stupid. Listen, I'm not saying no one can do anything interesting with it.
So yeah, I mean, that is my ultimate question: is, do you think that's good storytelling? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it's
I think by virtue
curious?
of
Do you think it's interesting? No, you're all in. You pushed your
I'm
chips
full,
right to the
I'm
middle of
all
the
in
table
for
with stupid.
dumb. Because you cannot have Scott, who's left off
Who?
every list other
Who's
than
that?
Scott Summers, the Marvel's favorite cuck,
Oh, Havoc's brother.
Havoc's brother, correct.
Yes. Okay, I'm
Much like
relatively
our
familiar.
relationship, you have the
Oh,
little
Nate,
wings.
Nate. I understand. Nathan's on there. Okay, cool.
Nathan's broski. You cannot have him optic blast through a mountain and being like, "Yo, but Iceman got unlimited ice though." It immediately, to me, it's a matter of like, you cannot compare like Dragon Ball Z being like his power level is over 9,000. Be like, I don't really understand that manga.
He's blonde
Or
now.
that-
You're like,
yeah,
oh.
I'd be like, sometimes he has a monkey tail. It is a useless
That's a power?
device. Yeah. It is a
I gotta update my
useless
resume.
it is a useless device for me. It doesn't help. I can't imagine it's helping storytelling, except if you slap on that seal of Omega level. You have to be like, no, you have to pay attention to Kid Midnight because he's Omega level. Be like, I don't have to. How about make the character good?
It's Kid Omega, but I see where you're coming
Oh,
from.
I'm sorry, John. I didn't realize Kid Omega for the Omega level mutant was such a clever fucking name.
Charlie, and I made this joke earlier when we were talking about topics, but I'm going to do it again here for anyone who's not part of the John Charlie thread. Omega Red, not an Omega level mutant.
They have to change him to regular Red.
Yeah, just red guy, just like tentacles in your hands. Like, that is just, if anything, that should be like inconvenienced Red, and also he's Russian.
Yeah,
But
I'd be like,
we'll leave it at that.
when he wipes, it is a fucking nightmare.
No, it's bad. Look, the bottom line for me regarding the topic, and I know we have to move quickly. The bottom line for the topic for me is, there's a lot of power going on there, right? And you have a now one might argue that that's already a loaded playing field in any case, right? Like
100%.
It's a powder keg to begin with, because you have all ballers living in a relatively small area. But now you've elevated the level of some of said ballers to like perennial game changers. And it does beg the question, like, okay, so if these are all Omega level mutants, and the definition is a limitless amount of an individual power, when you have people like Jean Grey, who is both a she's what's the term?
Telekinetic
she does telekinetic and telekinesis. It's one or the other. It's not that all her powers are elevated. So it's like an individual, but like you tried to take shots at poor Iceman Bobby, and the thing is, he only does have the one power.
Yeah.
So what's interesting to me, the first time that I saw him kind of like hulked out in ice and like making ice shapes, like pointy ass, I'm like, yo, that's pretty cool, because Me, I would never have thought to do that. I always thought of him as skinny snowman surfing on the monorail, and
Yes.
there were other ways to use him. Obviously, Magneto's been a big damn
Monorail,
issue.
monorail.
Magneto's been a problem since day one. The biggest problem Magneto has is that we are gonna really have to update his backstory now. You're telling me this World War II fucking poor Holocaust survivor, we're still throwing him into like buildings and stuff? Give the guy a break. Let him retire down to Florida. Call it a day. But
I just
think it's too much power because and you know, we talking about okay, well, when superpower people, regardless of their source of powers, when they throw down, what is what's the peripheral damage gonna be? What's the, you know, the unintentional? Now it's bad enough when you have like, you know, when you have Wolverine throwing down with Sabretooth, or you have somebody truly goofy and garbagey like,
don't
I
do
don't
it.
know.
Don't do it.
Oh, I want to do it so bad.
I'll let you do it.
Nah, it's close to Christmas. I'm gonna be a good boy. I don't want to end up on the wrong list. But my bottom line is this: if you have superpowered people, mutants, throwing down, potentially causing issues, what the fuck is gonna happen when these Omega level bastards start like one-upping one another?
Yeah.
I really don't know. However, credit where credit's due is the subtitle of our show. They did it. Marvel, they dragged me back into paying attention to what's going on in Marvel in Mutant Town. I'm curious. I want to see what's going to happen. They messed up the chessboard to the point where I'm like, oh, let's see where this goes. So they're going to get my shekels. Good for them.
Do you know what my real issue is?
I know several of your issues, but I'll keep them private. What do you think your issue is?
My main issue about this is that they're going to crown a champ, and there's going to be a Super Omega, and then there'll be 2, and then there'll be 12.
What's the real title going to be? Super Omega? It's a little on those. Maybe I don't know. Hyper Omega.
Yeah, it's going to be something that sounds like a bad Power Ranger season.
Oh, no.
Be like Mega Force Omega.
And they're just going to stop speaking. They're just going to shake their head angrily and put their hands on their hips.
Summon a robot that looks just like them. It's based on a Sentinel vaguely. My problem is these ideas that all get repeated eventually they never get better. Either they're going to kill off 11 of the 12 Omega level, or they're going to have a Super Omega.
It could be.
And it's the worst too is they'll specifically be like, it's Frog Boy. It turns out we're gonna subvert expectations. Look at how clever we are.
No Frog Boys. Frog Boy wasn't.
No, bro, that's the next issue. Frog Boy is coming up, and you know the reason you haven't heard about
Frog Boy. Oh,
Frog Boy,
all these theme songs today.
You know what's terrible though is the reason you have yet to see that Frog Boy is Omega level is because he sits at home daily, nightly, and ever so rightly listening to one of my favorite bands of all time.
Frog Boy loves them.
And not only does Frog Boy love them, I love them. They are the absolute fantastic Bad Mary. You can check out Bad Mary right now over on twitch.tv/Bad Mary Band. You can follow them on Facebook, Bad Mary Band. You can find them on YouTube, Bad Mary Band, on patreon.com, where you can throw shekels their way. They're just Bad Mary. That's patreon.com/Bad Mary. On Instagram, they are also Bad Mary Band. My absolute favorite thing. It's not that if you go to their website, you can get pins, keychains, t-shirts, CDs, all that good stuff. It's not that they're touring so you can go see them tear the house down. My favorite thing is on every single music streaming service, the same services where you can hear this show, US Comics Cast, every Wednesday, every other day, and the rest of Wednesday, you can listen to Bad Mary's entire discography. You can listen to it all. Support him today. Throw him money. Throw him love. Bad Mary Band across all social media.
Damn straight. And credit where credit's due. Our other sponsor as Charles chugs down that H2O. Right here on Facebook Gaming, also, as well as on the purple site, that is Twitch. It's Sergeant Finesse. Multiple streams every day. Outstanding gaming content. You can find him in Krakoa pretty soon because he is an Omega level gamer. Supporter games, co-streams, giveaways, contests. Don't be a sucker. Check him out today. Throw him a like, a follow, a share. Consider becoming a supporter. But if you need a mutant level pick-me-up, follow the White Rabbit over to sneakenergy.com. So good. Use code SGT at checkout looking for some fresh new merch. I'm not wearing any, but you can get some by going over to geeksunleashed.com. Use code SARGE at checkout there. SARGE for you non-spelling mother suckers. You, when the Sarge is on deck, you salute. GG, son. He's ripping it up right now as COD is about to switch over their map. But in any case, Charlie, you are up against the clock. Take us home, country road.
Let's do this, my dear brother. Man, Disney Plus wound up being the streaming service that I'm surprised at how often I pop it on. There, I feel like there's
Big cartoon
enough.
Man.
What's that?
Big cartoon man.
That's right. Well, even beyond that stuff, what happens that I love is that when the DVDs or Blu-rays hit the market, Disney Plus has my new Marvel stuff. It's how I'm going to watch Eternals because I don't have 5 hours to spend in the movie theater. I need to go watch Afterlife a few more times. I rewatched Shang-Chi this week. And what I love about second viewings of movies I enjoyed, I had very positive feelings leaving Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, I believe the first time through I described as...
It broke our COVID movie theater hiatus.
It did.
Right? I know it did for me. It did for you as well.
Yes, correct. And for me, it was that that Marvel stuff is just exciting. You kind of know what you're getting. It's ordering cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory.
It's the restaurant you like, and you're having another meal at a restaurant you like.
Exactly.
Compliments to the chef.
What I really found interesting, though, about the rewatch of Shang-Chi, I think I enjoyed it more. There's some stuff that kind of stuck out as not as good as I remembered on the first go-through. But one thing I really, really loved is that they tied the Mandarin back in. And by the Mandarin, I mean the real Mandarin.
Legit?
And the fake Mandarin, the one that's not named after a Chinese food dish. But it had me thinking about It had me thinking about Iron Man 3, and when that trailer dropped, we were promised on the tail of Iron Man 3, like, the fucking Mandarin, we're going for it. And we had an all-star actor. Yeah. It seemed like it was going to be taken so serious.
Anytime they're like, and we've got a sir, you're like, oh, they got a sir, holy shit.
Yeah, and the buildup of the 10 rings over time, and getting to see the 10 rings kind of reach what we thought was going to be their apex a decade before Shang-Chi got his turn, was a total fucking bait and switch. And I totally forgot when I saw them being like, this guy's a terrorist. Iron Man's going to fight a fucking terrorist. Because I then rewatched Iron Man 3.
That was like his origin.
I legitimately was like, wait a second. This on the rewatch, as much as I love, what is it, Kevin Slattery? Is that the Mandarin's real name? I don't recall now. I had this weird feeling of like, Marvel, I never got a Mandarin, though. Like, I got Shang-Chi's...
Oh, like Mandarin as Mandarin?
Well, I get why you can't necessarily do the cartoon series or the old comic Mandarin, because it was, like, pretty fucked up. Yeah. It was, like, very racist, but there was something about, like, the 10 rings being finger rings, and, like, Earth, Wind, Water, like, each ring had a power.
That's your Power Rangers... damage, bro. That is some therapy stuff.
What color power is gonna matter? But it had me really thinking about when Marvel gets accused, even by me, by like
Right.
doing the same shit over and over again. Cinematically, I'm like, it is going to, a decent meal at Chili's. It is your favorite deli for the breakfast sandwich. It's never going to be different than that breakfast sandwich you had 2 weeks ago.
Debatable, but okay.
That's at least the
finish your thought.
that's the
Well,
accusation
when
it
you
gets.
sit down and you've got your popcorn tub, you're like, "This is Chili's." I get it.
Yes,
That's your
but they
take.
have
Sure.
they have taken a couple real left turns and really they really went left of what you were anticipating.
Uh-huh.
They specifically moved against where everyone's thoughts were, which is refreshing in movies for me, and I kind of fucking hate it when Marvel does it.
Really?
And yeah, there's something about it that I'm like, I fucking came.
Well, let me
I
ask you a
came for
question.
Cheesecake Factory.
Right, but let me just to clarify, because maybe I misunderstood what you had wanted to talk about. So, are you saying that when Marvel specifically goes against type, for Marvel, Charlie's like, man, I don't like that, or is it just to kind of maybe salvage your comic book cred, or is it how they went about the rerouting of the expectation, that you're like, okay, well, they did something different than I expected, which is dangerous, and I liked it, or they did something different than I expected and I don't like that.
I
Like
think
what was in my head was better.
Yeah, I don't think I have a definitive rule. Really, what I wanted to talk about was the idea of subverting expectations. There are times in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's kissing cousins with Sony and Fox, where it's awesome. I think when we were talking about New Mutants before, I
Yeah.
think doing a horror X-Men movie is a brilliant idea. I
Well,
want them to make that movie so
if the
bad.
story calls for it, right? So in that circumstance, if you had younger people who believe they're going to like a school for the gifted youngers type scenario, and it ends up being like psychological, like they're being gaslit in essence, yeah, then is that fodder for a fantastic and interesting legitimate horror movie? Absolutely, especially when you factor in weird shit going on, whether it's imagined, whether it's fabricated, or whether it's generated by the people who are the potential victims. Like that's a great turn. You take your expected victims, and like they're the ones that are subjugating one another. That's some deep shit. Feige, call me motherfucker. Anyways,
We work cheap,
I
believe it or not.
thought it was more along the lines of like literally the what a twist, because uh, um the original Mandarin twist, I agree with you. At first, yeah, I was of mixed feelings then as much as I am now. At first, I'm like,
Me too.
oh, it's not the real Mandarin. It's a fucking, it's a Times Square Mickey Mouse with Converse sneakers on. Like that is not Mickey Mouse, dude. Like it is a charlatan. But the way that it was handled, that initial like, oh man, I was down to see the current iteration of the terrorist Mandarin, and instead what I got was glowing people, and people who were not cast for other roles, like, nah, but we got something for you later down the road. And that all being said, the way that they handled it, I was like, all right, it was one of those like, you got me. They got me with the 3-card monster. I'm like, ah, fuck it, you earned my $20. Way to go, yes, son of a bastard.
Do you think the risk is, again, because it's high risk, high reward, so it's less about there being a definitive rule, and it's far more about just what have your reactions been? Because even in Venom, a movie that I openly very much dislike, if you like the Tom Hardy Venom, good for you. I love Eddie Brock. I love Tom Hardy. I don't need them to be the same dude. One thing I love about that first Venom is the whole movie he looks sickly and like shit, and you keep expecting there to be the scene where suddenly he has a 9-pack and he looks awesome and like a hero, and they never do that in Venom.
Did you expect that? Because you might love Tom Hardy, a little bit more than
First
I
of
do.
all, I'm not hiding the fact that I fucking love Tom Hardy. Call me, bro. Let's bro out. But
No,
like
no.
I love it on the smaller scale when it's moments. In Shang-Chi, there's a great gag in the very beginning where
Yeah.
you see Shang-Chi wakes up, he's getting ready for his day, then an expensive car pulls up. You see $6,000
Yeah.
shoes get out, and it's not him, and he's the fucking
Right.
guy, parking the car.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a
got a
great
little life, sure.
moment. But I keep having this waking fear with Spider-Man around the corner, and we all know that there's going to be 3 Spider-Men, pretty much. I now have this new waking nightmare where are they actually going to be playing their Spider-Man? Because it seems like the villains aren't the villains we saw in those other movies. So is Tobey Maguire not that version? Is he just a Spider-Man? Because that sucks. I don't want that at all.
Would you really care that much? So
Yes.
Let me just clarify the point, because I was woefully wrong about what I thought you wanted to talk about. So you saying that if it doesn't meet your expectations slant desire of the way that's like been teased, the way that your taint's been tickled, then you're like, no, like there's no version of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that we're an all 99.9% likelihood gonna see. If it's literally not the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, like carried over from that franchise, then Charlie's gonna be like, nope, drop your popcorn bucket and walk out.
They have all but promised me Sam Raimi's Spider-Man showing up in this flick. And if it's just the actor who played him, it's like when Quicksilver wasn't Quicksilver, but he played Quicksilver.
No.
Go fuck yourselves.
No, it's not like that at all. Not even remotely. Because what's happening is they've already established the fact that you have multiple realities, you have multiple variants. So a variant can either be exactly like visually exactly what you're expecting, or a variant can be the polar opposite of that person. Like Marvel has already set the framework for how that's gonna work.
Well,
Let me just finish, because I'm desperate. I'm very much in danger of being confused again. So the versions that we're getting of the villains, they have all died. Like that's the gimmick.
Yeah.
They died in their realities. So we're getting them here because of the hijinks between Strange and Peter Parker. Like the little he wanted everybody to forget, but what fucking because of what Mysterio did, and hilarity ensues. But for me, the fact that we're going to get second bites at the apple with these particular performers, I am fucking so juiced about. I could not fucking care less. I really couldn't. Matter of fact, if you gave me back Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx, and you have fucking Willem Dafoe was Doc Ock, and Alfred Molina was Electro, and Jamie Foxx was Sandman, I'm like, this is fucking sick. I love all of this.
But now you're talking my language. If you're gonna put Tobey Maguire,
so it's gotta be bigger.
If you're gonna put Tobey Maguire in a if you're gonna put Tobey Maguire in a Spider-Man costume, it better be his fucking Spider-Man costume. Otherwise, throw him in a fucking Hobgoblin suit.
But it is his costume. Like we already have a stat. Like we've already seen it. So I'm not. I said the threat was out there. I'm still goddamn confused. I don't think that there's any question. We have the Andy Garfield fucking Spider-Man costume.
I think
John's crotch costume. We've got fucking Tobey Maguire's costume.
If Andrew Garfield shows up,
why are you so afraid of life, man? Ingest it, bro. Just show up for them every once in a while, Charlie. Even if it's a Chili's, like you clearly love to go to, even if it's goddamn Chili's, do us all a favor, Charlie. Take the Tasters menu. Be like, motherfucker, just give me whatever you got. Whether you're talking to Marvel, or whether you're talking to Chili's, or whether you're talking about fucking Essex and Maine, whoever. Just bring me what you got. Just don't bring me anything with peanuts in it, and don't bring me anything with milk. And you know what? Out of sheer love for my brother, take anything scrimp and throw it out the fucking back alley for the damn alley cats. I'll take whatever you got, and you like it, you selfish, entitled son of a millennial bitch. Unbelievable. If you came up like I came up with the Captain America TV show where he's throwing plastic discs, the Spider-Man TV show where you can see the cables that he's swinging from, not the ones he's holding, but ones attached to his ass. Lou Ferrigno with his paint running off of his face and his green wig sliding off to the side, already starting to mumble. The only legitimate Hulk madness being that fucking Schwarzenegger had a career that Lou Ferrigno should have had as an American. Once you, Charlie, can come to me with that level of game, nobody wants to hear it. Okay? Nobody.
You know what? You know what, John? You're right. Take us home at double time. I'm convinced I'll take it however they give it.
I am furious. So when you're reaching this level of angry, there is only...
John's got Omega level, people. Watch out.
Take your little baby brother, that son of entitled bitch, slap him upside the head. But once that's done and your hand stops ringing, then you gotta turn the power on. Then you gotta turn the volume up, and you gotta tune Bad Mary and open up the window wide and scream out into the night sky. Save me, space girl. We out.
End of the world. Chill to the bone, never see the day.